Yeah.
All right, fellow Reds, welcome back. After the festive period, this is the American Scouser podcast. This is Hooch hosting it for the first time, and with me, I got Tim and Causey. So, guys, first up, the elephant in the room, our first loss in 21 matches, the City. What you guys think? Cause, go ahead. You start with you.
I think it was okay. The City game, I think it was billed to be something bigger than what it was. And to be honest, we we lost the game, of course. Don't think we played well enough for the game to win the game. I thought City were a better team. But you can't say we never had our chances. 3 chances cleared off the line. Kind of says that we could have won the game, even though we never played well. To be honest, I wasn't really too downhearted. With 4 points clear, still. I think if you'd ask any fan in the world what position would you rather be in, Man City's or Liverpool's, you're still going to take Liverpool's. So, yeah, I say during the game, I was more frustrated, really, than anything, because I felt like we could get at them a lot more. I thought Bernardo Silva played well for them. Fernandinho was brilliant. But I thought the rest were quite average. I thought David Silva was poor. I thought if Liverpool just had a bit more creativity in midfield, I thought we could have won the game. But otherwise, yeah, I was downhearted for about 10 minutes. And then I was like, well, we're still 4 points clear. So, it was kind of a free hit for Liverpool. It didn't really, of course, it would have been great to win the game. Don't get me wrong. I'm not sitting here and saying it's fine to lose a game. It's never fine to lose a game. But to still sit here saying you played City twice and you're 4 points clear, but everyone's taking that, of course they would have. So, yeah, again, I'm not too downhearted.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's part of it is, us fans kind of running away, already start decorating the championship, tour bus. I mean, we got, because we got those like point lead and the possibility of a win, doesn't obviously guarantee you the title, but it would really put us in a huge advantage, being up by like 10 points and stuff. I think we kind of, as fans, I think we got away with, we kind of got carried away with it more than the team itself. And yeah, I mean, we could have won that game. Obviously, the chances were there, cleared off the line, a couple of centimeters here and there. But we're still up by 4 points. I mean, I remember a podcast about like a month ago, I think, like Kazi, I think you were asking, and you were even, okay with us being behind, right? That was the conversation at the time. So us being up by 4 points at this stage, I think any of us would have taken. Obviously, a loss is not good, kind of like ends the streak and stuff, which, I wish the next game was a league game again, because I feel like now, even though we're not going to field our top lineup or anything like that, I don't expect tomorrow, we all expect, kind of like a bounce back. I think if it was a Premier League game with our, starting 11, I think we would see that reaction. So I'm kind of bummed that if it's an FA Cup game right afterwards as opposed to a league game. But we're good. I mean, I'm disappointed. Yeah. Depressed. No, which is, new for me after a loss. So I think we're in good shape. 4 points is good. I think it just created a negative atmosphere suddenly because we were on such a high. So kind of like grounds us. And I'm hoping it kind of grounds the team a little bit too, and kind of like relights the fire, start a new streak. That's why the next, obviously, Premier League game will be huge. But we're in good shape. We're still got this.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I feel the same way you guys do. It's never good to lose a match, but at the same time, we went into that basically playing with the house money. We're still 4 points up, which is a nice lead to have. And I actually don't mind it. The match tomorrow is actually not a League Cup. That gives us a chance to rest our starters and kind of take a collective breath and not have to hear how we've been unbeaten in 21 matches, 22 matches, 23 matches. So just give those guys just a quick mental break before we get right back into it. So with that being said, for the lineup tomorrow, what do you guys have in your mind as a possible starting 11 for the Reds?
I've never been less interested in a football match regarding Liverpool. I don't care. I'll play. If you guys fancy a game, you play. I do. I honestly, I've never. I don't know. I don't care. Origi will play probably. Moreno. Like literally, if Liverpool get beat 3-0 tomorrow, I don't care. It's because I know it sounds harsh and it sounds kind of defeatist, but if you're, the fourth round is at the end of January, you get a week off at the end of January. Another week where Alisson and Virgil van Dijk and all these players can have rest their legs and put their feet up. I want Liverpool to win football matches, but it's not the end of the world. So I'd say Moreno, Origi. I think he is going to go with Camacho right back. I've got a funny feeling he's going to play Camacho. And that whoever, the young 16-year-old. I don't know if he's going to start this kid, but he's definitely going to play, I think. I think Curtis Jones is getting a game. It's kind of tough now because I think, if you would have asked me last week, I'd say Solanke and Nathaniel Klein. But of course, with them not being there, I don't know if anyone guesses the 1 to 11 tomorrow deserves honestly big pat on the back if anyone can guess the 1 to 11 because I haven't got a clue, not a clue.
This is kind of like a potluck deal. I'm really thinking we will pretty much see everybody that we don't normally see. I almost feel like there will be a defensive midfielder that will have to be there. I'm thinking probably Hendo to kind of run the show and keep everybody on the same page, kind of be the organizer on the field. But he already said Mignolet isn't back.
Yes.
I don't know if we'll see
just what we
Fabinho. Yeah, exactly. So we're gonna see Mignolet. We're gonna see, Moreno on left. I really think, I agree that Camacho will be on the right side. And I think we're going to have this makeshift midfield. I expect Lallana to be out there. I think Keita will be out there.
Yeah.
And then I think we're going to have Sturridge and Origi on the field at the same time. Yeah. So, it's quality, but I don't know if there's going to be any cohesion on the field. That's, I guess, my only concern. I agree. I couldn't care less about the FA Cup. In the beginning of the season, I wanted us to be in these cups for the long run, to get playing time for some of these players, like Solanke and everything. But right now, I really don't care. The only reason I do want us to win is to kind of, start this reboot right away. That's the only reason I'm not big on having the FA Cup game first. I want to get us back to winning ways right away, as opposed to losing again, back-to-back losses. There's already kind of like a neutral, almost tilting towards negative mode with some of the fans. I would like to kind of delete that altogether. So when we go to our we're already have started a new winning streak.
I'm with Kazi on this one. I really don't care what happens tomorrow, which is a big change because previous years we were hinging this season on the League Cup or the FA Cup and trying to squeak into the top four. Which I think shows a change in culture that Klopp has brought. That now it's okay, it'd be nice to win, but we're looking to Europe, we're looking to win the league. So this is it's a good game to get the youngsters in for sure. But with Klein being gone on loan and Solanke being sold for an unbelievable £19 million, which I don't know how they got that for him. Was it £1 per or £1 million per appearance that he had for us? Strike another one up for Michael Edwards. That guy's a wizard when it comes to things like that. So let's segue into that. Let's shift gears for a bit. So the transfer window. This is the first time in a while that I don't really think that we need to go out and get anybody. We're not being linked to every big name. Our squad's pretty sound as it is. Of course, with Pulisic going to Chelsea, that took a big one off the table. But other than that, there's really nobody else out there that we're linked with. Is there anybody that you guys think that we could maybe use a position we might have to bring in for support or squad depth?
I think it's interesting. I love a centre-back. And the reason I say that is because when you got Trent and Gomez really is cover for right back. Now, I want Gomez to start every game, centre-back, of course. Of course, Lovren. Joe Matip, of course, hopefully should be back in a few weeks. But I love a defender in that ilk. So we can rest Trent and put Gomez and then, bring in Lovren. It seems like to me, he's kind of left himself short right back in effect of if it's chosen two of Van Dijk and Gomez, and he wants to rest Trent, he has to change two positions to rest Trent now. So he has to change his centre back and his right back to rest Trent. So for me, the Klein was a weird. I know Klein said I should, can I go and play some games, which to me sounds ludicrous when your team's top of the league and you can still play 6-7 games towards the end of the season. It just sounds a bit mad to me, but so I'd love some kind of defender. Listen, if you can go and get Koulibaly, then someone of that ilk, of course. I'd also like another a number 9, and I say that is because Firmino's brilliant, but Firmino's not playing number 9 anymore. Salah's playing number 9. So if you offer me like another number 9, number 10, in the ilk, I know Shaqiri's brilliant and Firmino. I know I'm not going to say his name, but the guy from Lyon, the captain with no knee. But I mean, he would be brilliant for Kia. It's just like I know it sounded perfect in the summer. It sounds perfect now. Liverpool have a chance here to win the league. Liverpool haven't had the chance to win the league in January. It's the longer I've been born, basically. We haven't had the chance to win the league in January. We've had it end of April. We've kind of played our way into form the end of April and things like that. You know what I mean? We've never really had the strong chances we have now. Just by trying to think to yourselves, if you're sitting down and go, should we take the punt now? Just do it now. Look how Van Dijk last January. Do it now. You know what I mean? I'd take one of them positions, really. Now, the reason being, again, I think we beat Bayern Munich in the Champions League. If you get through tomorrow, we've got three competitions we're playing. We're gonna need players. I understand he fancies Lallana and things like that. They can come in and do a job. I think can he play 6? Can he start 6-7 games, Lallana, towards the end of the season? Can we trust him? Can we trust Lallana to start 6-7 towards the end of the season? Can we trust Sturridge to start 10? Because Sturridge is going to need to start probably tomorrow. He might start at home against Bayern Munich. He might, take a little games where you can sugarcoat where you go. You can probably get Sturridge in there. Can you trust him? That's the only thing that worries me. So yeah, a defender of the ilk of a centre half. If you're going to play, unless you're going to play Gomez there, we'll get a right back in, or a number 10 or number 9.
I mean, in terms of the needs, like if we sign somebody, those are the two positions, like center back and the forward is what I would probably pick. I think that early movement is a sign that we are bringing somebody, or we have our eye on somebody for defense. I really don't think we bring anybody for the front, personally. I mean, just knowing, because January transfers in most cases don't do a whole lot of immediate good, with a very few exceptions. Especially with Klopp, it takes a long time. And I realize, let's say even when it's a forward, it takes a long time before, the way we press and our defense starting up front, it takes like some time to get that person into our rhythm and how we play and everything like that. So I don't think they will be touching the front and we're going to be adding anybody. I think this is what we have for the rest of the year. But I really think we're getting somebody for defense and probably as a center back. I guess the thing is, it would have to be somebody who is willing to come into a team that's poised for a championship, but kind of like for the shorter term. So, because I don't see us signing somebody young and expensive over there, knowing, that's probably the future spot for Gomez. But I agree with what Kazi is saying. With Klein leaving, that automatically puts, I don't see Camacho playing in in big league games. No, so that puts kind of Gomez as Trent's backup, or, the other right back, if you will, which means we will definitely need somebody for center back. And I don't know if I want to trust Lovren for the long run. He's poised for a bad game here and there. I think overall he's been good. I just don't know, with Matip being being very fragile, I should say. I think we definitely need another center back to kind of provide cover. We haven't been able to even rest Van Dijk, because I think without Van Dijk, that defense kind of like slightly crumbles, which we might see tomorrow, which is another fear I have, because I really think this is a good game to rest Van Dijk for somebody who's played nonstop. But I agree with Kazi overall. Those are the two spots we would need somebody for. Will we get him? I don't think so. I think we're getting somebody for defense, but I don't see us signing like a forward like Werner and stuff. But hey, if you're going all in, this will be the time. This is the season. Why not?
Yeah, I don't think we're going to touch the attacking players so much. Solanke, he was kind of a luxury to have. He really wasn't going to fit in this year, maybe not even next. But yeah, with us loaning out Klein, I understand Klopp's a players coach. He wants to give his guys a chance to play, but that definitely leaves us thin at the back. A right back option I can see is Fabinho does play right back a little bit for Brazil, so maybe that's an option there. But at the same time, he's been pretty good in the midfield, so I don't know if that's something. If you want to move him back there as a permanent backup, and then get into all that, if there's another injury, then what do you do? If that just leaves us thin at the back.
It seems too makeshift to me, what we're saying here. Or we can put Fabinho there, we can put going. Why are we moving 3-4 positions to rest one player? Why are we changing 3-4, starters in their starting positions to go and rest a player? It seems a bit crazy to me. I thought what he would have done was sold Moreno because he's been talking about going, and because Klein can play right back and left back, because he can do both and pretty well. I thought that was the start. I thought that was the move, basically. It seems crazy that you're 4 points clear in the league. If you don't bring anyone in, of course, we're early on in the January, you never know what's going to happen. We could bring someone in and then we're all forgetting about it. But right now, it just seems a bit weird to me. If you say to Bournemouth, come back at the end of January, you can have Klein on loan. Doesn't make any difference if you get rid of him now or get rid of him end of January. If Bournemouth still need a right back, It's not, it just seems a bit odd to me. The Solanke one, I completely understand. 20 million for Solanke. Oh my word. Oh my God. I honestly, I like Solanke. That's what I say to Tim. I know he gets a big bad rap from me, really, right? But yeah, I like him. He's just not a Liverpool player. He's just not good enough for Liverpool. There's many players like that. They're just not good enough for Liverpool. And 20 million, my word. I understand why you've sold him. But the Klein one, I won't get. I just never get unless we get a replacement in. It doesn't make any sense that a guy can play 2 full-back positions. The other left back is talking that he wants to leave and go back to Spain. His contract's up in the summer, I believe. Why would you let Klein go? But don't know, might be wrong. Hopefully, I am proved wrong, and he's going to bring someone in.
I honestly think it's more like we're trying to get. Oh, I'm sorry, Tim. I think we're trying to get money. I really feel like Klein is going to be sold in the summer anyway. So I don't know if it's a matter of getting him more exposure and raising his price. I mean, we're not going to get anything out of Moreno, and he's gone at the end of the year. So if you loan him out, I mean, you're just getting his salary paid by somebody else instead of us. I feel like you get Klein out there and he's already starting. You kind of bring his market back up, and then we sell him. Somehow they do not click with Klopp. I mean, it's pretty apparent when he wasn't even playing as right back when Trent was out and it was still Gomez. So I don't know what it is. We don't know, obviously, what happens behind the scenes. I mean, with his contract going until 2020, I really feel like we're kind of throwing him out there so he plays, increases his market value, because nobody knows what his market value is right now because he just sits on the bench, which anybody can do. I feel like he plays, and then we sell him in summer with especially like, the young kid and the Camacho being as backups in the long run or right back. I think it's more like a financial move for the long run than more like play on the fields. And that's why I'm hoping we're getting the center back so that's, I'd be totally happy if somebody said, hey, we got this center back who's somebody solid, and then, you have Trent with possibly Gomez backing him up or replacing him if needed. That's pretty solid where you have a bunch of movable parts that can fit in, and then, if need be, you put Milner as right back or left back.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that the Solanke, he might be the first domino to fall. I think they made that move early to maybe try to raise some funds and maybe to get in with Klein going. Now that opens up a spot. Maybe they're trying to finagle something. We have no idea. Maybe there's a name out of left field that we haven't heard nothing about. Maybe they're working on. He doesn't even have to come in and be world class. Just a depth player, somebody who can give a guy a spell here and there. But with Klopp, I wouldn't disregard anything. I mean, he found Robbo, and look at him now. He's top left back in England, if not top 10, top 5 in Europe. So I have total faith that they have something going. They have a plan for sure. They're just not making these moves individual of each other. Stick with the transfers. Causey, what is your thoughts about Pulisic going to Chelsea?
I think it's listen. Quite clearly, Klopp didn't want him. That's the fact of the matter. Now, whether he's right, I trust Klopp unconditionally. To be honest, I think the man deserves to be trusted like that. He didn't want Pulisic, because if he wanted Pulisic, we would have signed him. For me, I just think it's just a shot in the foot. But that's my opinion. But people make these mistakes all the time. Football managers. I think it could be a mistake, but I think the man's earned his mistakes. He's earned a few mistakes in the transfer market, because probably out of all his signings, maybe 3 haven't worked out. So, for me, I'm not disappointed. Liverpool top of the league. I'm never going to be disappointed when Liverpool top of the league. You know what I mean? I'm not downhearted by it. I just think it could come back to hurt Liverpool in the long run, especially with the marketing side of things. I think it could come back to hurt Liverpool massively. Chelsea right now are already planning their pre-season tour to America in the summer, don't we? We already know it. As soon as he comes in, he's on that plane to America and go, yes, here's the poster boy, here's the golden boy. And, it's going to be a big move for them. But, I know me and Tim go back and forth on this, but I don't know many Pulisics in the world where you can sign. Liverpool's market now for signing players are getting shorter and shorter and shorter, because we're getting better and better and better. It's not like we're sitting 7th in the league and there's so many players that would improve Liverpool. How many players in the world would improve Liverpool? 15, maybe. 20 at the max would come in and say, well, he's better than him. We've got one of the best top 3 goalkeepers in the world. In my opinion, we've got probably the best left back in Europe. We've got one of the best young right backs in Europe who might be getting moved into midfield, which is the big rumour. We've got the best centre back in the world. We've got the best young centre back in the world in Joe Gomez. We've got the best striker in the world in Salah. I don't see how many players come in. All my argument is with the situation: would Christian Pulisic play for football for Liverpool? Would he get minutes? Yes, is the answer. So that means he improves Liverpool. Clearly, because you can't trust Alana. You just can't trust him. You can't trust Sturridge to go and say you're starting 10 to the end of the season. Can you do that for us? You can't trust him. If I said to you now, do you think Lallana will start 10 games? Which we're going to need him to start 10 games. Whether Liverpool fans like it or not, he will have to start at least 8 to 10 games. Because we'll have the FA Cup. If we have the Champions League, we have the Premier League. I'm not talking like he's going to start against United away. I'm saying, like teams of the ilk of Huddersfield at home and things like that. Lallana, he starts Sturridge. You expect them to, beat them teams anyway. So for me, Pulisic is a bit of a... It seems like a bit of an own goal. The only thing that's in the back of my mind is Oxlade Chamberlain's further down the line than we think. He's fitter than we think. And Jurgen Klopp doesn't want to put pressure on the man. We've seen the videos of him running on YouTube and he's playing with the ball and things like that on the Liverpool site. I think he's further down the line than what the club's letting on, really. And that's the only thing I can think of.
I'm with you with Ox coming back, hopefully sooner than we thought. That's almost like getting a signing. Because, I think Tim said if you sign somebody now, it takes them a few weeks to get into how we play our system, how to cover defensively. So they wouldn't really make a huge impact of February, that time frame anyway. If Ox is coming along as well as we think he is, or what's rumored to be out there, then that's basically your big January signing. And he can come right in, hit the ground running, and you'll be good to go.
Yeah, I mean, we've gone at this with Kazi a couple of times, but let's do it again. I like say I was okay with it. I mean, if we signed him, I wasn't going to be like, what the heck? And when we didn't sign him, I was like, especially once I found out the price, and I'm like, well, let them roll the dice and take the risk. I thought for the price tag, if we're spending that much on somebody, it should not be a squad player. It should be somebody coming in and doing something good. I mean, I just know, we've had good luck. Obviously, Klopp and the crew know what they're doing in terms of being able to sign people for a lot less money that can bring a lot of impact. So they're scouting in terms of they know exactly what they're looking for. Yeah. We've seen it with Robertson. We've seen it with Shaqiri. I mean, so I would rather have them do that because I agree with Ghazi. As the team gets better, I mean, how much better can it get? You can't have the top player of every position in your roster is just not realistic. So for the price tag, I think, like I say, if that much money is paid on him, it is for marketing purposes and not for the player. And I understand the marketing parts. I mean, I'm sure there'll be a lot of like Chelsea jerseys walk around a little bit here. But I mean, if we're after the money for selling jerseys, let's go sign a Chinese guy. There are billions of Chinese people that might buy their jerseys. I mean, and I realize, there's not somebody in implicit quality, but I just don't think, as good as the team is, I mean, we're not a small team that would try to capitalize on just the marketing aspect and sign somebody just based on marketing potential alone. And, Klopp, knowing him, and I really feel like we had the ability to get him. Either Klopp didn't want him, or Pulisic himself did not trust to be able to break into the squad. And he had a lot more faith in breaking into the Chelsea squad, which is possible, especially with like Hazard leaving and stuff like that. So I'm totally fine with it. I thought he was way overpriced, and it was kind of like more like a marketing package, which I do not feel like a team like Liverpool really needs. I think right now winning the league would be a lot bigger marketing thing, and our brand of soccer is a lot more of like a marketing thing than signing a guy who's going to sell us jerseys. I mean, he's a good player, but I think he's just overpriced just based on the hype. I mean, Dortmund must be laughing all the way to the bank where they sold somebody who can't break into their starting 11 off the bench for 50. That's crazy. Okay. And I know it's crazy numbers out there, but still.
I've got a great point to argue here, right? If Liverpool put a bid in of 30 million plus Dominic Solanke, would you accept it? Because that's what it is.
You know what? I think I would, yes. Because we're kind of
giving. That's what it is.
But, here's the thing, though. I don't think, if you ask me how much we can get for Solanke, I wouldn't tell you 19 either.
I would have said $50, I mean? $60, maybe. and a crate of Bud Light, maybe.
I mean, that's the thing. I mean, if you told me, how about like the package deal like that, 30 plus Solanke, I'm like, that's fine. We're giving a young guy that could be good down the road, that is not getting a chance to play, and we're getting somebody who is still young, experienced, potential. I would have bought that deal. But like I say, I wouldn't think we would get 19 for Solanke. I thought that was really high, but more power to them.
It seems, I don't know. If Dortmund are laughing to the bank, I hate to see what Michael Edwards is doing. My God, when he picked up the phone and they adapted off Bournemouth, man, he must have fell off his chair. He must have called his wife and done the Conor McGregor. Get the red pennies on. Well, baby, we've done it. We've done it, baby. Solanke, 20 million. My God. Unbelievable.
Yeah, but that's why that's definitely good business for us. Like I say, down the road, he could be a good player. I mean, I just did not see him breaking into this squad. I would much rather have Klopp bring in, we have Brewster who can come into this roster down the road. And I would think over summer, we're going to lose Sturridge, and we're probably going to lose Origi, and we'll probably bring somebody in over the summer that can potentially break into the squad, hopefully. Like Timo, for example. How about Timo Werner? What do you guys thought on that, by the way? I mean, I've seen him play, obviously, as I was watching Keita last year. But, I mean, you guys think would he break into this roster? Maybe, take Firmino's spot and push Firmino to, like, an attacking midfielder?
Do you know what it is for me? I think Liverpool's kind of changed. Like when people go, would he start for Liverpool? It's not about starting for Liverpool. It's about that. It's about looking, going, if you're gonna play 25, like Solanke, you played 20 games last year. It's up to you to break in. It ain't up to me to say you're starting 35 games. It's up to me going, you're gonna get a minimum of 20 games. You have to break in. You need to show us. For me, Timo Werner's a great. I thought he was Germany's best player at the World Cup, which wasn't tough. Germany were poor, but he was their only player who looked like quick attack, and he looked like he didn't want to play. Again, as I said, as we just said, Liverpool's market's getting shorter and shorter. If it's not Timo Werner, then who is it? Because it's not Pulisic now. It's not Timo Werner. Is it Jadon Sancho? I don't know who it is anymore, because I don't know how many players can improve this squad. the squad of players. The only thing that worries me is that you can't trust Lallana, you can't trust Sturridge. And that's what frustrates me. You can't trust them. Now, if you said to me, Lallana's fit to the full end of the season, he's going to play you 12, and Sturridge is going to get you 12 appearances, 8 starts, then I go, fair enough. Then I can understand why you'd want to wait. With the Timo Werner thing, I don't know if Klopp's in the back of his mind going, I don't trust these guys. If I bring him in now, take the punt, I can bring him in now. Oxlade Chamberlain's going to come back. He might not be, the same guy, which happens after a major injury. It's going to be the end of April, starting maybe before he's flying again, but the end of the season, basically. For me, I'd like the Timo Werner signing because I do think we need backup up there. I do think you can't just rely on. I think the drop off from the front three to Lallana and Sturridge is too big. I think the drop off's too big. I think we need an in between guy, which Timo Werner would be.
I think if you can bring him in, you have to do it. Like I said, this is the year we're 4 points up in January. You swing for the fences. You do everything you can to win the league. It's not going to happen every season like this for us, where it's almost a 2-team race between us and City. If you have the chance, whatever you can do this season to help chances win the league, I feel like you owe it to the fans, you owe it to the city. You have to do what you can to just go for it all. Go for broke. Push all your chips in, and just go for it. You have to win the league this year. I feel do everything you can for it.
I think when I say, as a starter, I just feel like, like a player like Timo has like a huge price tag. And if you're paying that price tag, you don't want somebody just kind of chipping in on your way to the championship. You want somebody to be a major role player. I think this crew, like, Edwards and Klopp are really good at finding like those guys that you mentioned, Kazi, like 20 games to bring in at good value. They can get those guys for a lot cheaper. I feel like when we're spending, if you're signing someone like Timo that a lot of other teams want, so his price tag is really high, he better be able to, even if he doesn't start, it should almost be like Shaqiri, where, where it's like a major contribution as opposed to occasionally show up and play, which unfortunately, like Keita has done so far with the, with all, obviously he's had the injuries and stuff like that. But I just don't know. And I realize, if we win the title and everything, it would be like Mahrez going to City, knowing he's not going to be a guaranteed starter, but you still got to pay him the money. And obviously you got to be aiming high, which we will. I just don't think that kind of stuff happens till summer.
Yeah, I see that. I think the only thing that I say is in the back of my mind is the Oxlade Chamberlain thing. He must be further down the line. If we don't sign no one, of course, he must be further down the line. I think he will dabble. I think he will have a look at it. I think he gets the 20 million off Solanke and he might go, Timo Werner in the summer might be worth 50 million. Right now he's worth 60 million. Say because it's January or that kind of level. I think he goes, look at the 20 million off Solanke and, maybe we can do something here. Because I agree with you guys. I think if you swing and miss, you swing and miss. But at least you're not going to say, for example, if he gets rid of Moreno and Robertson gets injured, and then we're going to go over playing Milner there now, and then Liverpool go and lose the league. We've got excuses then. Liverpool fans have these excuses lined up. We got it wrong and all this. The main thing is that Liverpool shouldn't have any excuses come the end of the season. Liverpool don't win the league because we haven't been good enough. That's football. Right, because City were better over 38 games. So I don't want us to have any excuses. If you understand what I'm saying, I don't want us to sit there and go, "Oh, but we loaned Klein. Oh, what a stupid decision that was." Oh, then we got rid of Solanke, because Sturridge got injured and we had no backup. To come sit on the bench for us and play, 4 starts, 5 starts. We never had that, and I don't want these excuses. So if we can kind of eradicate these excuses. If Liverpool don't win the league, Liverpool don't win the league. It's because we haven't been good enough. That's the fact of winning a league title. You need to be good enough over 38 games. That's why it's easier to win trophies and not the championship. So, for me, I'm all for bringing an extra player in, just because it's exactly the same with you guys. I don't want to sit there and swing for the fences. Why not? Who cares about the money right now? The money is on Liverpool winning the league. You want a big marketing tool, like with Tim, what he's saying. You want a big marketing tool. You want to get your name out there. You just want to be the biggest club in the world. Win the league. It helps. Win the league and go far in the Champions League. It helps. So I'm all for it, to be honest. And I just think Oxlade Chamberlain's further down the line than we think. I wouldn't be surprised if you get to the first, second week of February and Chamberlain's on the bench.
That's why I think the game tomorrow is going to be a major deciding factor of what they do in January in terms of the transfer window, because you're going to find out if you're going to be in one more lane, which will determine, how big of a squad you need. I feel like if we don't have to win, if we don't advance in the FA Cup, they would be a lot more conservative and not sign anybody, knowing we only have the league and the Champions League from this point on. And the schedule is not, when you look at the dates, it's still like one a week, and obviously you have the Champions League games. I know if the FA Cup is in there as well, I think that's when we would see more depth signings, if you will. But I still, back when we were talking earlier, I really think we add somebody to defense in this January window.
Yeah, I think it a lot does depend on tomorrow. Just like Tim, you just said, if we're out of the FA Cup, our games basically come once a week unless there's a Champions League match thrown in there. And looking at the next 5 matches with Brighton, Palace, Leicester, West Ham, and Bournemouth, there's not a murderer's row of teams that are going to really give us a tough time. Whereas City has Wolves and then Huddersfield and Newcastle, but then they finish their 5-game stretch with Arsenal and Chelsea, which, Spain has the Clásico with Barcelona and Madrid. I like to call the Chelsea-Man City match the Plastico. But maybe, looking ahead, we have a better chance of getting more points for the next 5 than I would say City does. So, maybe, we lose tomorrow. It's not the end of the world.
Mm-hmm. That's why.
You get your rested, and then you just hit the home stretch and you go for it.
That's why, Tim, I couldn't agree more with you. I don't think that's why I'm not worried at all about Liverpool, because I don't think City's going to win 17 games. People forget that. If City wins 17 games and Liverpool wins 17 games, we win the league, People forget that. I think City win about 13, draw 2, 3, and lose a couple. I don't think Liverpool are going to lose another 2-3 games. I just can't see it. I just don't see how Liverpool lose 3 games. So that's why I think, I think if we win tomorrow, I think Klopp looks and goes, Bayern Munich in the Champions League, they're not the force they were, we can beat them. 4 points clear, winning the FA Cup 4th round. I could do something special here. I think it's in the back of his mind. I think tomorrow's a free hit. I think tomorrow he goes, listen, it's a tough game, Wolves away. It's a horrible game. It really is. On a Monday night as well. I know on the previous podcast me and Tim spoke about it. I said on a Friday night, go to Wolves in the rain, which it was horrendous, torrential rain. And to win 2-0 is a great, unbelievable result. Tomorrow's going to be exactly the same. I think he looks and goes, if we get through that, I can do something special. Really special, yeah. Especially if you draw someone like Gillingham at home or, Newport at home. I think he looks and goes, yeah, I can do something seriously special here. And if I have to bring that one more guy in to do it, then so be it.
So you're saying if we win tomorrow, you think that Klopp starts thinking about a double or maybe even a triple? Is that what you're suggesting?
Well, yeah, because I'm not saying he's thinking about. I think he's thinking about Liverpool winning every game, but I don't think he can look and go. Say for example, Liverpool get through tomorrow, we draw Gillingham at home, Newport at home. Say Newport, non-league, Newport. We're playing Bayern Munich in the Champions League. I'm 4 points clear at the top of the league. Come on. Liverpool just got to the Champions League final last year with the Mirage in goal. So, we had no goalkeeper in effect. So it's like I'm not saying he's thinking about it. I'm just saying he's thinking about, well, I could do something special here. You beat Newport in the 5th round. You never know, you can draw it again. You could draw someone in the Championship. You can draw Everton, which is, same thing. So
I knew that was coming.
Anytime I can dig out Everton, I'm digging out Everton. But I mean, I think you can look and go, why not? You can draw, you can go out and play Bayern Munich. You beat Bayern Munich, then you play City again. City are nothing to fear. You play United under the lights in the Champions League. Imagine that. I'm not saying he's going to. I'm not saying he's going to put all his eggs in the Champions League basket. In the Premier League basket. That's all I'm thinking. I'm thinking he's sitting there thinking to himself, I could win all 3. Why can't we? Why can't we win all 3? This is a bit like the Lovren thing with his interviews. He comes out and says things, and everyone goes, "Oh, why is he saying that?" Why not say that? It's because we're really, really good. We're really, really good at football, guys. And, you know, it's... Why not? Why? That's all I'm saying. Why not? Who wants to play Liverpool right now? No one. Brighton must be sitting there thinking we're going to be on the end of a serious backlash. Surely, you know, Liverpool are not going to. Liverpool, City had to play out of their skin to beat us, and Liverpool played 70% of the potential, and City had to play at 100 just to barely beat us. That's the level we're talking about now, guys. This is how good this team is. I keep saying to Tim, he's got to stop worrying, man. We're a really good side, you know, guys. You know what I mean?
Well, that's never going to happen, so you can give up on that.
But you know, all I'm saying is, I'm not saying like, you know, we could do that. You know, of course we can. But if you get into the middle of March and you just beat Bayern Munich and we're still in 3 competitions and Liverpool are still 4 points clear, what are the fans going to be thinking then? Oh, let's just commentate on the league. You're going to be going, no, I want to win them all. You know, there's no one better than Liverpool. That's what you'd be thinking in your head. I'm just seeing now, tomorrow is a free hit because he knows how tough tomorrow can be. And if Wolves go out and start their first 11 and beat Liverpool second string, then you hold your hands up and go, fair enough. You know? All I'm saying is, you get to the start of March and we're 4 points clear. We draw, for argument's sake, we draw Benfica or Schalke or something like that. Someone not very good in the Champions League in the quarterfinals, even Roma again. And you're in the 5th round of the FA Cup or the 6th round of the FA Cup. Why not?
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. Though we're starting to shape into a team that we should be the favorites going forward. We're not the little engine that could anymore. We should start rolling these teams. It's not a matter of a bounce here or there. You know, maybe we hope for draws or hope for favorable results. We should start being feared in England and I think across Europe. Because you're right, nobody wants to play us right now. Like last year was a great story. You know, we made it to the Champions League, great underdogs. You know, but not a lot of people, I think, gave us a real great chance against Madrid. But I think now Klopp's turned his team into a team that we're feared. We're starting to be considered among Europe's elite, among for sure England's elite. But yeah, you know, if we get into a draw, and nobody wants to see us drawn against them, for sure.
I guess let me be the voice of sanity and negativity over here.
Come on,
I guess my biggest concern would be, I mean, if we go with, you know, like Kazi's scenario, which, I mean, I'm not saying it's not possible, and this team definitely has a capability, but it goes back to our previous conversation. If this team is going to go all the way in the FA Cup, all the way in the Champions League, and all the way in the league, we will need more bodies just because of the style of football we play. And that's why that's when, you know, if that's the ultimate goal, yeah, we will need to sign, you know, some more players to be able to play on this team, or we're gonna basically use the FA Cup and go as deep as we can with the youngsters, and we're gonna keep playing like, you know, the kids and see how far they take us. I just know, you know, even looking at last year, you know, how our football changed towards the end. And I know, especially in the league, and I know one eye was on the Champions League, and that was the biggest, obviously, bigger glory. City had already run away. But you could see on the field our game diminishing, like the players getting weaker, us getting kind of like bullied around. Like a game, like an away game at Burnley, how we played this year, we would not be able to play at the end of last season. I just didn't think we had the strength. So if we're going to go in all those lanes, I would hope that they would bring at least 1 or 2 capable bodies that we would trust on the field, whether in defense or like the forward we were talking about. But along the same lines, it could be one of those cases where they're like, hey, this is what we do in the FA Cup, and then they can take us as far as they can and see where we go from there. I just be worried that with that many games, I just want to win this league. I honestly, personally, I couldn't care less about any of the other stuff. I just want to make sure like all this other stuff doesn't affect, at the end of the day, winning this title, because this should be the year.
I agree with you, Tim. But what I'm saying is that if you get to the middle of March, we've just beaten Bayern Munich and you've just drawn Roma in the Champions League and Liverpool are 4 points clear. We're all sitting here right now, start of January, and going, I don't care about the Champions League. I don't care about the FA Cup. I don't care tomorrow. I don't care about the Champions League. If we put 4 points clear middle of March and we just drew Roma in the quarter-final of the Champions League, you're going to be sitting there and you're not going to say, I don't care about the Champions League. You're going to say,
oh yeah, of course.
No,
And honestly, if we're 4 points ahead in March, looking at City's schedule gets a lot tougher towards the end.
Yeah.
When you look at the games, I would only say 2 games. We have Tottenham and Chelsea, obviously, out of the last 6 games. But you look at City's schedule. They play United, they play Tottenham, they go to Crystal Palace, which is always a tough away game. Yeah. So I would think if we're at the 4 points lead in March, I would feel obviously much better at our chances. And then you almost have a 2-game lead going into the last 6 games. Yeah, by all means.
But I think the other thing is as well, what we're also missing, guys, it's just the 2 things we're missing. Number one, the Jurgen Klopp sides always get better after Christmas. We do get stronger after Christmas because he rotates so much. All right, this year he hasn't rotated as much, but he will. The Jurgen Klopp sides kick on. Christmas onwards, we usually are a bit of a force. And second of all, City have shown they can lose to lower level Premier League sides. Losing to Palace at home, losing to Leicester away. Liverpool haven't shown that. We haven't shown that we can lose these kind of games. So for me, I understand the nerves of some Liverpool fans, but I don't think City win 17 games. I don't think they win 15 games. I think they win 13, maybe. I think they get beaten on Old Trafford. You can put in United. They can put a big performance. I think they could draw to Chelsea at home and lose 2, say. I don't think so. That's why I'm not saying Liverpool should, go out for all 3 and things. If you're offering me right now, it's the Premier League title. Go and get beat 10-0 tomorrow and go and get beat 10-0 by Bayern Munich, and I'll thank you very much. I've had a great season. But all I'm saying is if Jurgen Klopp sees a draw tomorrow and he goes, and I think he evaluates, say Tuesday or Wednesday, and I think he goes, them at home should beat these quite comfortably with the kids. Bayern Munich and the cup, 4 points clear. Fucking hell, I could do something here. I can do something here. I think it's in the back of his mind. I think he backs the players that much as well. I think he backs the players that much and go, I think he could sit them all down in a room and go, we could win all 3. If we put our minds to it and we can, box it clever, Daniel, you got to play 12 games for us. 15 games starting now 12 games. Lallana, you got to start 12. Shaq, you're starting nearly every game. So
but do you think that affects our lineup? Okay, let me ask you this. So do you think that affects our lineup where, we had the 4-point lead March 9th. So are you saying he would rest some of the guys against, let's say, a home game against Burnley? So we kind of focus on Bayern?
No, what I'm saying is that if we're playing Burnley at home, why are we starting the front 3? No disrespect to Burnley, but Liverpool should not be starting their front 3 against Burnley at home. We should be able to start Daniel Sturridge and win the game. Come on, surely we backed this team enough. We should be able to start Adam Lallana, Shaqiri, Keita with the Sturridge at home. Sturridge against Burnley at home, Huddersfield at home. Why can't we? We're going to need stages in the season where we can get rested. I was so happy that Van Dijk got booked against Napoli because I know he's suspended for the first leg of the Champions League. I'm so happy because there needs to be a break here where we can rest Van Dijk. That's where going out tomorrow is not an awful thing because at the end of January he gets a week rest. So we get 2 weeks off at the end of January. He gets Van Dijk gets one at the end of February, I think, when we played him, Bayern Munich. So he's having breaks. All I'm saying is that he's got to look at these players and go, you got to get me 10 games. Daniel Sturridge on 120 grand a week. You have no club at the end of the season. Why aren't you starting 10 games for me? Jurgen Klopp is not sitting there with his coaching staff right now going, I don't want to win the league. Surely he's not in January going, I'm only going to concentrate on the league. We're saying it as fans because we want it so much, we yearn for it. And I completely get where us come from. Being from the city, trust me, winning the league is everything to this club. We have to win this league. But you can't tell me as a manager, I don't care if we go out tomorrow. Even for personal pride. He's got to look at this team and go, yes, Daniel, I can get 10 games out of you. Adam, I can get 10 games out of you. Keita, where are you? 60 million quid, you've been on the bench because you've been injured. Come on, man, step up. You know what I mean? Do you want to do something special? Look how do you remember their legends now? Because we remember Jamie Carragher and these kind of players because he played so many games, they won the Champions League. If you win if you win a couple of trophies in a season, if you have this big, humongous season, you're heroes forever. Jordan Henderson, mate, if you want to step up, fella, and kill all these haters, which he's got many haters, as you know, let's step up. Let's do it, man. Let's fucking go for it. Why not? Who wants to play Liverpool? This one another thing what fans are not going through. Like, you guys know you get your pessimistic fans, which I understand. We've been let down many times by Liverpool. No one's better than Liverpool at the moment. Who's better than Liverpool? I'm not saying that as a disrespectful thing. Look around the leagues. Who's better than Liverpool? PSG are playing in a farmers league. Let's be honest, right? There's a few cowboys and Indians in that league, right? It means nothing, right? Juventus are a great side. Juventus win the league every season. They don't get out of third gear, fourth gear to win the league. They did last year because Napoli put up a fight. Fair play. Okay, so Juventus are a really good side. City, a brilliant side. Barcelona are a great side. Are they as good as Liverpool? Are they better than Liverpool, sorry? But really? Are we talking like that? Like Gerard Piqué's better than Virgil van Dijk? Jordi Alba's better than Robertson? 50-50 maybe? That's all I'm saying is that we really underestimate this side and what they can do. We really do. Look at the team. Look how good they are. Liverpool, as I say, we lost to Man City, which is one of the best Premier League sides I've ever assembled. One of, right? They had to play out of their skin to beat us. We played at 70% of our potential and had 3 chances cleared off the line. All I'm saying is, guys, we should just back this team to go, yeah, we'll beat anyone. Bring anyone forward, we can beat them. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying that we should, as fans, we want the Premier League, of course. All I'm saying is you can't tell me that Jurgen Klopp's sitting there thinking now, with Pep Linders and all that, I don't care what happens tomorrow. There's no way. There is no way. He wants to win every game, get to the middle of March and be in 3 competitions. Sure.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I don't think you can have that attitude, I would hope that nobody on the team has an attitude where they're like, if we win. I think that's probably more for us fans saying,
of course.
Our preference.
Yeah. But all I'm saying is you got to look at the team, guys. We're player for player around the world. There's not many players better than our Liverpool players, honestly. Of course you look at Messi, Ronaldo. They're not even on this planet though. And some of the players on the planet, they're in a different stratosphere of playing football, right? Them two. So the rest, Salah's probably the 3rd best player in the world. Virgil van Dijk is the best centre-back in the world. I will argue with anyone. He's the best centre-back in the world. Andy Robertson's probably the best left-back in the world at the moment on current form. And I don't see why Liverpool can't go win every game. I don't see how the players can look and tomorrow. I think you can sit down with the players Wednesday. If we get through tomorrow, lucky enough if we get through. And he looks at Origi even and goes, you've got to start 6 games. You have to start them. 6-7 games, you've got to up your level. Daniel, you've got to up your level. You want to be a hero, fella? You want to go out with a couple of trophies under your belt, Daniel, after 6 years of being here, 7 years of being at the club? Come on. Let's stick it to them. You know what I mean? Divock Origi's already a hero in my eyes. So that's all that matters to me. But, Divock Origi started this all. I told you when it happened. He started it all. If this happens, if we win the league by a point, it's all on Divock Origi and Jordan Pickford. But all I'm saying is look around the world, guys. There's not many better players than our Liverpool players. So why not?
I tend to agree.
More exciting than that is all those. We're a younger team. You mentioned like Messi and Ronaldo and stuff, kind of like in the end of their reign, if you will. Whereas this is still a relatively young team. So more good things to come, hopefully.
Yeah, looking ahead, there's really no other James Milner. I wouldn't say there's anybody too long in the tooth. Your core is 25, 26, 27. They assembled this team to put together runs, not just this year, but I'd say the next 5 years. We should be having hopefully this conversation almost every year. Barring injury, of course, but the way this team's put together, the youth of it, mixed with the experience, they have players coming up behind them. They did a great job of putting this team together for the long haul.
Yeah, even with the Milner, of course, I think Milner goes to Leeds in the summer. Milner's leaving. I think there's been a gentleman's agreement with Jurgen Klopp. If Leeds get promoted, I'm going back to Leeds because that's his hometown club, and I think Leeds do get promoted. I think he goes. So, but even if you look at say James Milner, there's not many teams he wouldn't start in. Maybe 7 or 8 teams in the world he might not start, but otherwise he starts in every other team in the world. Still, at this age, you look at maybe Juventus. Is he better than Emre Can? Yes, definitely. So he could get maybe a position there. Fernandinho's been injured. For City, does he start then when Fernandinho's injured and De Bruyne's been injured? Probably, yes, in effect. Does he start over these guys? So, even him is still playing at a tremendous level. And we've got a team now that can go and dominate for 5 years. Why not? This team's brilliant. We're already guaranteed Champions League football again for next season, of course, because with the position we're in, I'd like to think that we're not going to drop out there now. Otherwise, there's going to be a serious talking. But I mean, so, and then you're attracting these top stars again who want to come to Liverpool and want to play for Jurgen Klopp. All I see is that people get petrified of like City are only 4 points off us and goal different. Liverpool are brilliant. There's no better. Like, how many City players did you take at Liverpool? 3, 4, maybe 4 on a good day.
Yeah.
And that's I take Aguero probably up front because I rate him as one of the best the Premier's ever had. I don't. The rest are horses for courses for me. I maybe take John Stones over Lovren. Laporte maybe over Lovren. The rest of them, De Bruyne, of course, would play. But the rest, Fernandinho maybe over Fabinho. Would you take Fernandinho over Fabinho? I wouldn't.
No.
I would right now. Maybe not in a couple of years. I would right now just because of the experience.
So all I'm saying is that we're talking about this City side, one of the best ever teams that's been produced in the Premier League, which it is. We'll only take 3 players out of there, maybe 4. So how good are Liverpool?
No, you're right for sure. You're definitely right about that. We went from having a squad in the club that was getting poached every year for 1 or 2 best players, and now we're in a position where I'm not saying we're going to poach other teams' top players, but we're more than just Coutinho or Suarez. And look, when we lost Suarez to Barcelona, what happened?
Yeah.
Now it's the shoes on the other foot, so to speak. We're in a position where we're the best in the world, one of the best teams in the world. Brand-wise, we're right up there. Klopp, who wouldn't want to play for Klopp? I think we're solid. This team's set up for a good stretch of years coming up.
Yeah. And I think, actually, speaking about Coutinho, guys, are we going to get into this for a second? Would you take him back? Because it's not working at Barcelona, guys. It ain't working there, is it? He's lost his position big time to Dembele's come in. Play brilliant. When he plays his 4-3-3, he come in. I can't remember who they're playing, Real Vallecano or someone. Play 4-3-3. He changed the Valverde. They changed to a 4-2-3-1. He played Dembele. 20 minutes to go, and Dembele gets an assist and scores, and he win 3-2. He's lost his position bad. It looks like the rumours are that he's not happy there. Would you take him back at Liverpool?
That's tough. As a fan, I would say no, absolutely not. He fabricated a back injury to sit out games and kind of force his way through to Barcelona. I compare him to the Suarez situation. Suarez came back, played the full season, busted his ass for us, and then we let him go. Where Coutinho basically just shut it down and forced his way out. But that's just as a fan's perspective. Player-wise, if he comes back, he would fit right in. He knows how Klopp likes to play. But I don't know. It would just be tough as a fan to welcome somebody like that back who basically quit on the club because he wanted to go play for Barcelona and win all these trophies. It's just hard to welcome somebody like that back.
I wouldn't take him back. He was my favorite player when he was there. Still today, my daughter's favorite player. I just would not take him back. Based on how he left, and B, we're talking about like our quality and how good we are. If he can't crack into the starting lineup, there is he gonna hear? And 3, I think we were okay with letting him go, especially for the money we got, because really, unless he's gonna play on either Mane's or Salah's position, his style and his work rate does not work with our midfield. And that's why I think Klopp was willing to let him go. Because ideally, Keita in the long run is Coutinho, who has a better work rate. And that's what we're hoping for, obviously, when we sign them. But I don't think he fits. And then, how do you take a guy back who left the way he did in not only the manner, but the whole theme around it? He's going to a bigger club. This is his dream and stuff like that. How is he going to walk back into that locker room and half that locker room is the same players? Us as fans, let's face it, it would be negative maybe in the beginning. A couple of big goals, it would be like he never left. But I think it's a different tone in that locker room. It would be a different tone with the coaching staff, because those guys don't forget that. And they should not. And these guys live together every single day, practice together, eat together, and all that kind of stuff. So I think that would kind of like change certain things. Yeah, I wouldn't take him back. He kind of, made his bed. Night. I mean,
for me, I would take him back. And this is my thing. I understand the way he left. It's wrong. But if it was you and Liverpool came in for you, what would you be like? Let's get that right for the start. Come on, lads. We're all Liverpool fans here, right? What would you be like? I'll be texting the boss's daughter to get there, right? And I'd let it know, and I'm texting his daughter just to get to Liverpool. So, I kind of have no issue on how he left, because I'll be worse than him to get to Liverpool. But for me, I would take him back, because is he a better option than what we got off the bench? Then yes. Can he start games for us? Then yes. Does he improve Liverpool in certain aspects? Yes. He doesn't really fit into our style, Tim. I completely agree with what you're saying. I don't think he does fit. I don't think Liverpool do take him back. I think if Liverpool get the phone call tomorrow and say, give us 75 million for Coutinho, I don't think they take him back. I think he goes, no, I'd rather keep my money. I think, but when that kind of player, who's still young, by the way, can still come back and still improve and, still go on to be one of the best players in the world, then, it's hard for Liverpool not to be in the conversation. That's one thing about Liverpool now. I suppose we are in the conversation for every transfer in the world, which Liverpool have never been in that conversation before. So, for example, if Neymar came available, if Dembele comes available, Liverpool in the conversation. That's how big Liverpool are right now. And that's how good Liverpool are, which is a nice bit of position to be in. But I would take him back again. I can forgive what he did, because I'd be much worse if Liverpool came in for me.
But here's another thing. Like, would he even want to come back? I mean, you would go, but then, I understand, you're saying like you would go to Liverpool, but if it didn't work out in Liverpool, you would not come back to square one, or, where you started. You would probably go somewhere else. I mean, if he wants to play in Spain, or, you would go to the top team in Brazil, or you would go to Italy, whatever. I mean, you would probably not want to come back to where you started and say, yep, couldn't make it over there. I guess this is where this is what my level is. I don't think he would want that himself, to be honest.
It's a fair argument, yeah.
All right, so sticking with the Brazilians, came across the last day or so that Firmino won the Salma Gold Award in Brazil, which is the best Brazilian player in Europe. How much of that do you think will affect him going forward, confidence-wise? He doesn't seem to get recognized in England as one of the top quote-unquote strikers, because he doesn't put up the gaudy goal numbers. But with the defensive rate, how he's changed positions for the good of the club, how much do you think that will do for his state of mind to finish out the year, to get recognized like that?
I think it's brilliant for him. It's brilliant. I look at the Brazil side. Neymar. He probably is the best player, to be honest. Top three at least. He probably is the that's the Coutinho, Neymar, and Bobby. Probably the three best players. It's great for him. I'm glad that he's kind of got recognised, really. Liverpool fans have seen it for 12, 18 months, how good he is. He is a phenomenally gifted footballer, who probably at the front three is the hardest to replace, because there's no one like him in the world. He's very unique in what he does and how he plays. For me, I think he's so hard to replace. When we played Sturridge against PSG at home, we could see that the cohesion wasn't there, and the work rate of Sturridge, of course, it just wasn't there in effect. So, made up for him. Happy for him. I think the hat-trick against Arsenal was brilliant. I think it was big. I think the goal against City was a big goal still, because he scored again, and he looks like he's starting to find a bit of form as well, which is brilliant.
I mean, listen, to be honest with you, I think it works for us. The way he plays and how he plays, I don't know that he would play as well or would be as crucial on a different team. It's just what we want from him is totally different than what's expected from most number nines. I mean, I personally, I mean, obviously we don't know Bobby, but I don't know if Bobby would care about that award as much. I would think he would really want to be a key part of that national team that I feel like he deserves to be. I mean, even in the World Cup, maybe we're biased. We're kind of like watching with biased Liverpool eyes, but I felt like going forward, they were a lot more cohesive with him in there. I mean, but he's not your number nine that's going to score the goals. He just, we use him in a totally different way. I mean, he's a great player. The guy's work rate is unbelievable. His attitude overall, you can tell he enjoys creating as much as scoring himself. I mean, he's an awesome guy to have. And I think, we can use his skills, as an attacking midfielder, forward. I think he can even play on the wings. I know he doesn't have the pace for it, but he definitely has the skills for it. In terms of the award, I was kind of like shocked to hear, like, how did they not give something Brazilian to Neymar? I don't know if he's like disqualified for a reason or whatever, but because he seems to be the top guy over there, regardless of if he plays good or bad. I think the major recognition for him would be being featured more on the national team over Jesus.
No, I definitely agree. I was just happy that he got recognized for just everything he does for club, for country, whatever. It was just good. It's nice to see when good guys like that get recognized for their hard work.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, he plays the game the right, quote unquote, right way. He's not taking dives. He's not doing. You never hear nothing bad about him out in the media. I follow him on Instagram, and I get that it's a social media how you look at him, but he's always with his wife, always has his daughter with him. He just never hear nothing bad about the guy. So it's nice to see somebody like that get recognized.
I think that DUI kind of was like a reawakening for him almost, and he has been more like a model citizen since then. And yeah, I mean, it's good to see him. I mean, I agree there because I think we know him as fans. But let me ask you guys this. I mean, we obviously enjoy it. I love the guy, but if the no-look goals, if somebody else was doing it on a different team, would we find it as humorous?
I love cockiness though. I love cocky sports stars. I love it. So I love Conor McGregor, I love LeBron and things like that because I love people who back it up. In effect, and no, I've got no issue with it. The only issue I've got with Bobby Firmino is his dress sense. My God, he gets dressed in the dark, doesn't he? My word, Stevie Wonder must come pick his clothes out for him. I can't. I'll follow him on Instagram. I'm like, what have you got on?
Yeah, it's entertaining every time you refresh your feed and see what he has on. I don't have a problem with it.
No, he's got more makeup than his girlfriend sometimes, but I'm all for him.
To be honest, that's very true.
I'm all for him. The man's a character, isn't he? He's a crazy Brazilian character. And listen, it's nice that he's been recognised. The no-look goals, I just think it's a part of him. His dancing and that. He's just a crazy character. And I think sometimes, man, he must walk down the stairs and this girl goes, I must have made an effort here. I can't beat this guy in a dress off. He's a gorgeous man. He's a weirdly gorgeous man. He wears the craziest clothes I've ever liked, and I don't care. He should start for Liverpool every single game for the next 10 years. I've got no issue with it at all.
Kazi's man crush here.
Oh, mate, Bobby, all day. It looks like we both cry after him. We can both watch cartoons on the TV after it, so I'm cool with it. It looks like he'll hold me, so I'm fine with it. If he wins Liverpool the league, I'm all go for it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't mind the no-look goals either. It's just it fits his personality. That's just how he is as a player.
Believe me, I don't mind it. I love it. The more, the merrier. I just always think of when I see something like that we love. I always think of what do other teams think of that, and I'm sure they don't enjoy it as much. But hey,
probably not. But I don't know if that's so much as him being cocky, he's arrogant. It's just him being that goofy Because when he does it with a wry smile on his face, I did it again, and the players love it. He just, I don't think it's him being arrogant. I think that's just who he's playing a game. He's like a big kid playing a game, and he's having fun out there. So, who are we to say that he shouldn't be doing that?
That's fair. That's fair. I think that's basically it's him. I don't think he's going out of his way to, embarrass someone.
I think it fits his character perfect. So, for example, if Neymar was doing it, I think there'd be a bit more of a fucking hell because he dives on the floor, he cheats. You know what I'm saying?
like even for example Suarez, in effect, with all his past history, and if he was doing it, be like cocky, cocky such and such, and you'd be saying things under your breath about the man. But because he's kind of a clean guy, and it's just who he is and what he's about, then I don't, I'm all for it, to be honest. As long as
Yeah,
he's Liverpool in the league, I'm cool with it. Point. I said that I kind of, said to the wife as well. I was like, if Liverpool in the league, she does not. I know I've told her, I said that again this before on the podcast. She understands. I might die. I may die. I have my family over here for Christmas, and my brother who came over said to his wife, if Liverpool in the league, I am going on the missing list for 5 days. On the missing list. Don't call me. I'm leaving my phone at home anyway, he said, and just don't come and find me.
Yeah, mark your calendars. I know. So, any predictions for tomorrow's score then? I know this is kind of like a shot in the dark, but let's go with that.
I'll go 1-0 Origi, 96 minute.
I'm not even going to ask you for predictions anymore. It's just because.
But come on. Sorry, every time I think about it, it makes me laugh. It's because it's ruined their season as well. It's absolutely ruined their season, which just makes. I'm sorry, I can't help to laugh about it. Oh, sorry. Go on. No, a serious prediction. Honestly, I think if you'd offer me I don't want to draw. I do not want to replay. I don't want another game at Anfield on a Wednesday. So I'd rather lose than get a draw, to be honest. I know that sounds absolutely ludicrous. I can never back Liverpool to lose, but I'll say 1-0. I'm not going to say Origi, of course, but I'll say 1-0. I'll say it'll be a horrible tight game. It'll be no cohesion. The passing will be awful, but we'll just find a way to scrape it.
Yeah, I agree. It'll be like a 1-0, 2-1, something like that. It won't be a masterpiece to watch for sure. But I just think our subs, squad rotation, our quote unquote second string, still they should be able to get the job done. But yeah, I want a result one way or the other, win or lose. Be done with it, cut and dry. Don't want to have to replay this game later. So yeah, let's go 2-1 Liverpool.
Optimist, but I think these guys that are coming up, I agree with there's going to be no cohesion out there, but I think we're throwing enough skill out there, especially if we start like Sturridge and them, like Lallana and stuff like that. I think we win 3-1. Let's go with that.
I'll take that.
I'll take that too. All right, guys, final thoughts before we wrap up?
All good on my side. Up the Reds.
Yep, up the Reds it is. Let's win the FA Cup, and I'm just more excited for the weekend, to be honest with you.
Let's just win every trophy. Let's win the Super Bowl. Let's win America's Got Talent. Just win the lot. Why not?
I'm with you. The Voice, X Factor, all that.
Win the lot.
Put us down for a quintuplet's a thing. Put us down for the quintuplet.
What? I swear to God, win the lot. We've got the best rest. We've got the best centre back. We've got them all. Come on, up the Reds.
All right, guys, we'll be talking to you soon. That wraps up another edition of American Scouser Podcast. Be sure to give us a like, follow, and subscribe. All right, guys, we'll talk to you.
Cheers, man.
Cheers.